All right, today we're talking about a trap that so many of us are caught in, and we might not even realize it. It's the crisis of consumption. We're going to look at how our constant desire for more stuff was basically manufactured and what the real cost is for the planet and, for our own sanity. Okay, let's get into it.
So, let's start with a feeling. I'm pretty sure you know the one I'm talking about. That little voice, that constant pressure to upgrade, to get the next best thing, to just keep up. But where does that really come from?
I mean, really think about it. You finally get that new thing you've been wanting. And for a second, it's great, right? But that feeling, it doesn't last. It's temporary. And before you know it, you're right back where you started, wanting something else. It's a cycle that kind of defines modern life.
I mean, just look at the annual phone upgrade. It's practically a ritual at this point. Every single year, a new model drops with a slightly better camera, and there's this huge cultural pressure to toss a perfectly good phone for the shiny new one. Or what about fast fashion, where trends just appear and then vanish in, like, the blink of an eye? An outfit is cool one week and totally out the next. It creates this crazy, frantic need to just keep buying and throwing stuff away.
And this pressure gets into everything, even something as simple as a water bottle. You see it, right? A new brand goes viral on social media, and suddenly everyone feels like they need that specific one, even though they've got a whole cupboard of perfectly good ones at home.
So here's the most important thing to get. This feeling isn't some accident. It's not just a personal weakness or something you're doing wrong. It's the result of a huge, powerful system. And it has a few distinct parts. So let's actually put some names to what's going on here. First, you've got materialism. Okay, so this is the core belief. It's the value system that whispers in our ear that our success, our worth as people, our happiness, it's all defined by the things we own. This is the need at the heart of the whole problem. So if materialism is the need, then consumerism is how you feed it. It's the action. It's the whole economic engine, the malls, the online stores, the nonstop advertising that pushes us to constantly acquire more and more stuff.
So here's how they work together. And it's a powerful one-two punch. Materialism gives us the why, the belief that having stuff makes you successful. And consumerism gives us the how, a million easy ways to buy that stuff. They're a team, and they create this cycle that just keeps going.
And all of this leads us to the big one, the ultimate result. When you mix that deep-down belief with the constant action of buying, you get overconsumption. The source material calls it modern society's trendy disaster, and really, that's what it is. It's the point where our habits, our shopping, just completely outpaces what the planet can handle.
So, how in the world did we get here? Well, this system, it wasn't natural. It didn't just happen. It was built on purpose. And to really understand it, we've got to jump in a time machine and go back about 100 years.
So check this out. In the early 20th century, industrial production just exploded. For the first time in history, most people's basic needs were actually met. They had enough. They were content. And for big business, contentment was a huge, huge problem. Because the people are happy with what they've got. They stop buying new things. And no new demand means no new profit.
So, industry had to make a change. A big one. They realized if they couldn't sell people things they actually needed, they'd have to start selling them things they wanted. The goal became to completely blur the line between a want and a need, and to convince society that owning more things was more valuable than, say, having free time or a better quality of life.
And they were not subtle about this plan. In 1929, a director at General Motors named Charles Kettering literally wrote, "Keep the consumer dissatisfied." I mean, it wasn't some backroom conspiracy, it was the business model, out in the open. Progress was totally redefined. It wasn't about making things that last, it was about the endless replacement of the old with the new. The whole point was to make sure the ideal was always just a little bit out of reach, to keep people in a permanent state of wanting.
Okay, so fast forward to today. How is that system doing now? Well, that foundation they laid back in the 1920s has been perfected. It's been weaponized. It is now in total overdrive.
We can basically map it out as an addiction loop. We've all felt this, right? You see an ad or a trend online, you feel that little pang of desire, maybe a little envy. You go out and buy the thing, you get that brief temporary high, but it never ever lasts. The newness wears off, a new trend pops up, and that feeling of dissatisfaction comes right back, pushing you right back to step one.
And this whole loop is just supercharged by the world we live in. Advertising isn't a billboard on the highway anymore. It's a 24/7 assault on our phones and our social media feeds.
The infrastructure, malls, one-click online shopping, same-day delivery, makes buying stuff ridiculously easy. And then you have the financial fuel, credit cards and loans that make it totally normal to spend money we don't even have.
But this nonstop cycle of wanting and buying, it's not free. It comes with a real price tag, a tangible and honestly, a devastating one. Just let this number sink in for a second. 92 million metric tons. That's how much textile waste, mostly from fast fashion, is created every single year. It is a staggering mountain of clothes and fabric just getting thrown away.
And the impact isn't just about the trash heap. As you can see here, the fast fashion industry by itself is responsible for a shocking 10% of all global carbon emissions. Now, to put that into perspective, that's more than all international flights and all maritime shipping combined, just from our clothes.
So, the big point here is that the damage is systemic. It hits us from every angle. Environmentally, we're talking about running out of resources and creating massive pollution. Socially, it makes inequality worse and saddles people with debt and stress. And economically, we're building a system where what we want is just way more than what the planet can possibly give. We are literally eroding our ecological stability and our social well-being at the exact same time. And all of this brings us to the end and to a really vital question about where we go from here. Because all of this innovation, all of this so-called progress, it's coming at a cost that we might not be able to pay.
And that really is the bottom line. The source material we're looking at today ends with this incredibly stark question. While we're all chasing cures for diseases and fighting for social reforms, our consumption habits are busy destroying the very environment that we need to exist in the first place. It really forces you to ask, what is the point of all this progress if we're on a planet that can no longer support us? Are the very social habits that define who we are about to be the thing that destroys us?